Wow, I'm a genius. Yeah, it's Shams.
Ooh.
Very hard to guess that there was going to be this team. This team never played together ever. And then they're against... So is this... Who's this priest? Is this Lana, or is this just...
I think so, yeah. But why?
You
Why
think
is his
so? You
name?
know so.
Why,
I
no,
don't
no,
want to
no.
call him the... I'm going
Why
to
is his
call
name
him
in
Lana,
Russian?
and I'm
That's the
going to
thing.
get a message on Discord. He's like, hey, man, that's not me. I don't know how to call them. I'm just going to have to call him the Warlock and the Priest.
Yep.
I can't say these names.
Well, priest's name is Bilet, which is a ticket. And the warlock is Frim.
Frim, okay. Alright. Let's have a look at this game. Just following Fuser now as he goes in instantly onto the Warlock. I think this composition of Boomkin DH is very, very explosive. They have a huge amount of damage. The CS goes out onto Lontar immediately, though, using that time dilation onto Houston. The Root Beam comes out onto the Priest, but nothing really happens off that. They actually don't force many cooldowns. This is the Incarn from Wex, and they don't use Incarn from the side of Shams, actually, so... Even though it looks like Lontar is falling behind here, they haven't really used any offensives just yet, so as long as they don't have to use too much on this go, they should be in an okay position. But this FLS is doing a lot of damage. A Chaos Bolt's coming off the Fuser now, gets stunned on his Trinket, manages to get the Darkness down, but it looks like Lontar is just getting absolutely rolled over. All three players around 50% health. The Destro Lock and the Feral doing a huge job right now. Shams really needs to look to press that Incarn, try to get the pressure reversed, because it looks like they're just getting absolutely rolled over currently. The barrier comes down onto Frims as he looks to get that coil out. The stun goes on to Shams. Look for a Chaos Bolt. Does get stopped by Lontar, though. Excellent kick from him. Chaos Bolt's flying in now. Wex, though, taking some damage. He gets put into that wall. The CS comes out onto Shams. Gets the Root Beam. Gets trinketed out immediately. Good response from maybe Lanat, as he needs to be able to keep Wex offensive and not let him fall behind too much. He doesn't have any walls left. But he gets put into a restun and the clone, and that's all she wrote. That was a very unfortunate game for the FLP here, as they were kind of winning the entire game, and then it just ended. Uses this trinket without using his life swap, unfortunately. It's a common mistake I think a lot of priests make, where they just use those cooldowns not together, and then you end up losing with life swap available. Especially in this solid composition, we have so much crowd control from the Boomkin. I wonder if... do you think the UI is not showing Incarnation, or did he just not press it this game?
I don't know, man. I think it's I think it's not showing.
It must not show. Yeah, he used Orbital Strike. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it just didn't show. I was looking at it, I was like, is he holding on to Incarn the entire game?
Yeah.
I'm
Like, what's the point?
Yeah, maybe not. Have to really look carefully for the Orbital Strike then in this case. But yeah, they had a lot of pressure in the start. A lot more pressure than I thought. They actually almost lost in the first, 30 seconds. This Destro Feral composition is really strong. It's like the Lock doesn't even have to cast that much, really. Just kind of jump around with Shadowburn, Immolate, Conflag, and seems to seal the deal. And Feral seemed very good as well. I think they caught a 5% buff on everything due to PvE. So now all their abilities are just decimating people. I think if they, in this matchup, could actually be very, very close if this keeps on being the same compositions.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, the Q comes up instantly. Tolver on.
Yep, they didn't change
Any changes from either side. A bit of a shaky game. I mean, I guess he's playing the Evoker because they can dispel the bleeds. Yeah, he can dispel the bleeds from the Feral. And also, Resto Shaman just doesn't look too hot right now, but maybe that was just...
Maybe it's just into Millicleaves.
Yeah.
It should be fine against casters with the ground.
I mean, if anyone can play Resto Shaman, it's probably Lontar. It's probably the best one we have on EU, I think. So
yeah.
you would know. Like, maybe going on to the Demon Hunter isn't the right target. I'm not sure, though. I mean, he did almost die very, very fast. I feel like Boomkin's going to just get completely slaughtered as well. There's a good thing for the Destro lock in this composition. There's very few kicks on the side of Lontar's team. They only have that Dragon Kick, is very, very long cooldown, and Fuston, so not too hard to get the damage out. Now, as they go in, the Incarnation popped immediately from Wex as he tries to get damage onto everyone on the side of Fuston. Shams taking a lot of damage here. They're getting all triple cleave once again. Look at all this crazy damage coming out. The Root Beam comes on to the Priest. Shams really trying to fake that clone here. Manages to get the clone onto the Priest. Wex is going to take so much damage now. And also the Warlock. The Warlock getting hunted here. Uses his BM trinket. Walls after the damage. The Priest comes in with the Life Swap as well. Having to overlap Life Swap and a wall in the opener. Very unfortunate. But manages to get a Chaos Bolt with that wall. And Fusion almost instantly dies. That defensive wall from the Warlock. Huge damage coming out from Destros currently. Using that Darkness. Shams put into the counter spell is very aggressive positioning, standing in the middle of the map versus the Warlock. Very, very scary. Manages to get the fake, gets the precog up, but unfortunately sends those bolts into the glimpse of Fusima. Fusima now put into the stun. The full clone goes out onto the Priest at the same time, so Wex is going to have to play a little bit defensively. The Warlock put into a stun. He uses his Dark Pact, but Fusion is the one that's taking the brunt of the damage. Full coil onto him. Gets dispelled out just in time. The time dilation comes out. And so they're going to send their pressure onto Shams. I would assume the triple stun comes out. But Wex is also dropping very, very low. This game is incredibly explosive. Shams with the Bark Skin gets grappled away by Lontar here. So they're using the pillar a little bit more. I like this a bit more than the standing in the open, just getting Chaos Bolted. Now they can actually line of sight some abilities from this Warlock because he was having a field day. Full stun goes on to fuse them, but excellent clone from Shams, preventing the Warlock from getting any damage. If they can just keep consistently doing that, they can maybe keep him alive, because it seems like they get 2 Chaos Bolts, then they just almost instantly lose every time. The stun goes onto Wex, the clone goes onto the Priest. There's no trinket available. Wall is used by Wex. They do have a Pain Suppression ready. They do have an Incarn as well, as Wex pops his Incarn, goes as offensive as he can onto Shams, gets the full clone though, isn't able to get his kick, does get Master Spelled at the very last second, as he tries to go as offensive as he can. The double stun goes on to the Priest and the Feral, though. Feral instantly trinkets out. He wants to be as aggressive as he can. The full fear goes on to Lontar, gets instantly reversed. That just breaks, actually, from damage. But Wex is the one that's taking the most damage here. And down he falls to the Incarn of Shams, I do believe. Yeah, Boomkin DH is looking very strong. But this FLP comp seems insane, too. I think it's just Ferals in general that are just disgusting. I mean, look at his damage. He's doing about 50k DPS. And it's not on pets. There is no pets. I really do not want to see jungle this patch.
Yeah, me too. Let's check the damage. Yeah, Monkins. And the Feral.
It's a Feral. The Feral is out-damaging everyone.
Weird.
Yeah, he's owning. I mean, this class seems a bit good. No wonder they were playing Feral Enhance earlier. It seems to be the 2 meta classes currently. I mean, I'd like to see them maybe go a bit more on the Boomkin, though, because the problem with the Boomkin is he's just cloning their goes. I think maybe if they just stun the Boomkin and fear the DH or something like this to get more damage out. Because the Demon Hunter keeps getting his glimpses on the Chaos Bolt, so you can avoid a lot of that damage, even though he does almost die very fast. Like, it's a bit harder to set up on him. Maybe making swaps rather than making him the main kill target. I think Boom can take a lot of damage too, and he's playing very aggressive at positioning.
Yeah, and that like they overlapped a lot of the cities at the very start. There was a wall and swap from the Priest. Yeah. If only they had swap till that moment, they survive, recover, and then because you know they're playing quite good as well. I mean that Priest, he's purging the Lonta's nullifying cloak, trying to fear him. Always watching for this. So they're actually trying to set up a kill.
Yeah, they are playing well. It's just very unfortunate that that fear just broke on everyone at the end just because of all that feral damage. Because if that didn't happen, then maybe they would have killed. Maybe needs to cleave the healer a bit less and maybe crowd control him a bit more. But then again, they're getting so much pressure from it. Because the Evoker's doing less healing, so doesn't have as much health, so his mastery isn't working as well as it would. He needs to live a little bit longer. Or maybe swap targets a bit more, I think. This is an interesting map that they've picked here. I guess they force Lontar to be in the open. There's no pillars for them to hide behind, really. They go on the tomb, maybe they can avoid some stuff, but if they go on the tomb, they're going to get triple cleaved by the feral. So this is kind of a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Wex staying in the back, trying to avoid that Demon Hunter's eye here. He really wants to get that opener. Ah, manages to get caught by Fusen, though. The Incarn comes out from Wex onto Shams. Gets the rip on him as he swaps onto Fusen. Gets some damage onto El Crocodilo too, as the entire team just crumbles to this Incarnation. This is some crazy damage. The Infernal's coming out as well, of course, from the Warlock. Here come the Rifts too. But as I said, everyone's going to line around this tomb. But as they do this, they will be getting cleaved. So we get the full beam onto the Priest here. Shams taking most of the damage, though. That beam not seeming to score them anything, actually, unfortunately. The Dark Archangel comes out from the side of the Priest, but it's a little bit late because it is after the Incarn, unfortunately. Now the bash goes onto him. He's already used Will, and he just dies. That is sad. It's life swapped both games they lost, unfortunately. Not choosing to line a trinket up with that. I think he must have willed out of one of the Lontar's spheres.
He willed the fear and was unable to.
He dies. Yeah. Just gets recloned on it. Well, that's unfortunate. All of these games, it's like they're completely blasting and then suddenly just lose.